Each year, tourists from all over the world come to Qingdao Port, and this special performance has become a must-see.
It's raining. The water is making it hard to see. I'll have a harder time with my performance.
The man performing today is 28-year-old Guo Kai. He drives a front loader for the Liuji team of Qiangang Corporation. He has been working at Qingdao Port for 10 years now. He'll be opening a beer bottle today using a technique called cavalry welcoming the guest. The technique is very challenging because the optimum leverage distance is a mere 2 millimeters. It is a feat almost second to none.
Up next, our driver here will be filling a tower of wine glasses for all the leaders present today. And he has done it!
It requires practice.
It's hard. You have to practice in order to master this skill. It's not just for show. Only when you've mastered operating the loader can you perform. You have to ensure that nothing drips and nothing overflows.
The first and most important part of training is operational skills. After that, it all depends on accumulated experience over time.
It's all about coordination. How do you fully integrate man with vehicle? When the vehicle is in position, you need to be precise. That's what training's for.
According to Guo Kai, almost every skilled worker in Qingdao Port has his own distinct technique. Developing a technique increases work output, but it also requires a worker to improve his own skills. This is especially useful when faced with ship cabin clearing work.
Listen to the commander. Pay attention to safety. When it's time to clear the cabins, man and machine must be in sync. Be mindful.
The cabin of a 200,000-ton cargo ship is normally 4 to 5 stories high. After Guo Kai boards the ship, he takes a spiral staircase to get to the cabin bottom. The loader he'll be using to clear the space is suspended from 4 steel bars, then hoisted from the ground and lowered to the bottom.
Come to the rear cabin.
All good? Okay.
When clearing the cabin, workers mostly work in dead zones. Here, highly skilled drivers are an absolute must. According to Guo Kai, when clearing cabins, loaders cannot remove rocks from corners, which means workers must use shovels and brooms to clear them. Thus, the more skilled the loader driver, the less rock there will be to manually clear, making for swifter work.
The hardest part of this job is cleaning corners. Moreover, all along the wall, there are many covers. Here's one, there's another, they're all over. If you're not careful, while cleaning the sedimentary scale, you might dislodge one of the covers. Once dislodged, the wall is deformed, and people won't be able to close the holes again after that, which means the ship will be damaged. Then the ship owner will want to claim his indemnity. And when they collect, they don't want yuan, they want American dollars, which we can't afford.
At Qingdao Port, there are many cargo ships much like this, and each ship has many freight cabins. And in each cabin, there is a loader driver just like Guo Kai, cleaning the goods.
Number 102, here's your food.
Down, down. A little more.
Got it!
Okay, he's got it.
All right, thank you! Sweet mung bean soup. Truckmaster number 3.
Yes?
I'm going to have lunch. Do you mind taking over first?
I'll do 2 rounds, then I'll have to move cabins.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that your wife in the photo?
My wife has a motto for me: cherish your work and put your heart into it.
Is
That's
that your
it.
wife's motto?
It encourages me while I work every day. While I'm working, I often look at it, and it makes me happy to look at it while I work.
Guokai has finally finished clearing the cabin, and its corners are all clean. It used to take 7 to 8 people to clean it, but now 1 to 2 will suffice.
I have a goal in mind. So long as I can operate my loader, I must do as much as I can, so that the other workers will only have to use their shovel and broom once. That would be ideal.
According to the rules, after clearing the cabin, the leader of the cargo ship must look at the hull bottom to check for any damage. Only after they have passed the test can the loader and driver leave. Though outwardly simple, cabin clearing work requires a lot of techniques. It also requires good coordination. Besides training, Guokai and his fellow workers hold technical contests every year. This year's technical contest is soon to begin.
Draw straight onto this white line. More short lines. Add a dash in the middle.
Before the contest, each corporation designs a scheme. Whoever's scheme is chosen ends up hosting the home field for the contest. Hosting home field poses many advantages in the contest. Familiar environment and familiar vehicles being among them. Drivers also get more training time. The contest scheme is usually in line with actual work. In the past, Tiangang's corporation scheme was designed by workers old and young alike. This year, Guo Kai and his apprentice Gao Lei have been tasked with finishing the design.
Afterwards, the size will become apparent, you see? Do you? Oh, right. These are fixed lines. Understand, they're not to be drawn.
The plan of Guo Kai and his team is as follows. The contestant drives the loader in a complete dead zone without looking, and he must knock a piece of wood over. Then he must use the loader bucket to pull out a flag from a Coke bottle. After, he must back up in order to insert the flag into a Coke bottle on the other side. Throughout the process, the score is determined according to the number of times a bar is bumped and white line is hit.
My eyesight is failing. I'm getting old.
When the wind blows the red flag a certain way, and the wind direction is in favor of the truck's direction, you can insert it into the bottle.
Which line did I press? Show me. How many centimeters?
You nudged it by a centimeter tops.
1 centimeter. All right then. If you only think you didn't hit a line, they might say you still did. Okay. Where did I get sloppy? Tell me straight. Tell me. You can be frank with me. If I don't take your advice, you can hit me. But I get to tell you your shortcomings too.
You hit the line 3 times. 2 minutes, 23 seconds.
Just now when I pushed the brake, where were the high and low numbers?
Be sure to drive slowly, young man. You must be slow. Yes, that's perfect. The bottle's almost perfectly still. This hole of yours is 5 millimeters bigger than mine.
What problems does your loader project have? Tell us.
The line, it can still be moved inwards by 5 centimeters, I'd say.
You mean this
Right,
one?
the middle one.
We have to count every time we mark the sizes. For the same size, we'll mark only once. We need to follow the indications on the drawing.
If we want to make the water bottle task harder, we can just reduce the amount of the water in the bottle. That way it'll be more difficult when inserting and removing the flag.
We have a graduated cylinder, you remember? With that, we can determine how much water to use. It should be the same for everyone, so it's fair. After each contest, we will empty the bottle and refill it, and we will use the graduated cylinder to measure.
In recent years, Qiangang Corporation has always been home field. The team is very confident about winning this year's contest. However, they still see the need to plan thoroughly. There is no room for carelessness.
In WeChat, we have the Laling group in Qingdao and Huangdao group. Anyone going home can send a message saying, I have space for this many on my way home. It's more practical. Even if you want to ride the public transpo, there's no direct way home. You'd have to change trains. It would take 2 days back and forth, and once you get home, you'll be so tired. You won't be able to do anything. On the other hand, if you can hitch a ride, you can leave later, stay at home longer, and get more work done.
Guo Kai is a country boy from Leling, Shandong. He's the only boy in his family. When things at home get busy, Guo Kai maximizes his days off by going home to help his parents on the farm.
This truck isn't big enough. It can't carry all that. After we're done, you can ride your uncle's truck. Ah. Oh my God.
From the time you left your work until the completion of the harvest, did you get any sleep?
When I started the night shift the day before, I got up at 3:10 or so, and went to bed at 12 midnight. I only slept for 3 hours after that. I got up again for work and didn't rest until after the harvest. Then I went to bed at 9 p.m.
In those days, we were very poor. My son knew this, and he was very thoughtful. He didn't want to go to school anymore, so we asked him, if you don't want to go to school anymore, what will you do? He went out to work for a private boss in Tianjin.
In 2002, Guo Kai's father was hospitalized for a heart attack. The medical costs incurred became a heavy burden for the family. From that day on, Guo Kai decided to stop going to school and start working. His first job was carrying bricks at a construction site as an unskilled laborer. He was only 15 years old then.
When we got there, it was only 5 a.m. I loaded bricks until 8, about 5,000 bricks or more. At the 2,000 brick mark, my arms were so weak that I felt that I couldn't even lift the shovel, and my hands were so painful from all the blisters. I wasn't used to this kind of work, and in the first 2 days, I just kept working and working non-stop as much as I could. I was so tired after that I fell asleep, holding a piece of bread.
I have a heart condition, so he didn't tell me about it, but he did tell his mother. He was afraid I'd worry. He was afraid I'd get stressed over it. He cares too much.
At the time, I thought no matter how tired I was, I had to persevere. My father had medications to pay for, and his doctor said he would have to go to the hospital for follow-up tests, optimally every 2 months, but at least every 3 months.
During his time away from home, Guo Kai experienced much difficulty. The laborers with whom he worked left their posts because they could no longer take the hardship. Guo Kai persevered through it all. However, he was constantly troubled because his boss was always late in paying his wages.
Back in 2004, he was short. I had 7,000 yuan in unpaid wages. I had been working for a while by then and asked him when I get my wages. He said, you'd have to wait. Some debtors hadn't paid him. I thought, how could I wait when my dad was sick?
His mom told me all about it. She read his diary. In Tianjin, he had written that work was hard, and he went into detail about his difficulties. His mother cried while she read the entry. You know, up until now, she still won't let me read it.
Whenever I think of something, I'd write it down in my diary. The wages I got each month, the money I spent, the money I sent home. I didn't miss a thing, did I? I suffered a lot in the past, and I recorded it all. I can see all the bitter hardships I went through right here in my diary.
One day by chance, Guo Kai happened to see an announcement on TV saying that Qingdao Port was recruiting workers. Guo Kai decided to give it a shot.
At the port, wages are usually sent to the office by the 18th or the 19th. The office opens an account for each worker, and once opened, wages can then be deposited. We get paid once a month. Once I get paid, I send the money home.
After leaving home to work in Qingdao, Guo Kai found this apartment for rent. Now that he has a stable income, he is very happy. Still, his father back at home continually needs medical treatment. For this reason, Guo Kai has often worked overtime.
Find the word home in the sentence. Go on.
The blue sky, home of the white.
He has a strong sense of duty. He's very caring as well. I feel like I'm so careless while he is careful. It's like our roles as husband and wife are reversed. I remember he used to always send money home whenever he get paid his monthly salary, so we often lacked for money.
I did a lot of overtime because overtime merited higher pay. I told my boss about what my family was going through. I didn't tell anyone else. He said, "Guo Kai, why are you so desperate to make more money?" And I said, "My dad needs medical treatment. He has daily medications for his heart. Because of his condition, he can't stop." My boss said, "Don't forget to look after your own health. You mustn't overwork yourself. If you feel tired, don't do overtime." But I still worked after my night shift.
Once he was so tired, he said, "Darling, could you massage me?" When I did, I felt like he was all bone, so I couldn't really massage him at that time. There was nothing to hold.
When he was just starting out in Qingdao, besides working hard to make more money, Guo Kai wanted to learn more about technology. However, he was often overlooked, having come from a farming background.
There was one time this formal worker, he really cut me to the core. You know what he said to me? Well, we were working together every day, and one day I said, "Master, this car of yours is great." I said, "How I wish to drive one like this someday." It was really just a simple wish on my part. Then he said, "You country folks won't get to drive one in this lifetime." Although he said it casually, this made me very angry. I replied, "Who are you to say that I'll never drive one? I have to at least try and show him whether or not I can drive a car like that in my lifetime. I'll show him what I'm capable of."
Both Guo Kai's character and his perseverance helped him to progress quickly at the port. Still, he was a new driver. At the beginning of his cabin clearing work, owing to lack of experience, if not nerves, he would often leave a thick layer on the cabin walls and corners.
This worker said, "I could tell you were new the moment I saw you. Stop, stop, let us shovel." I just watched them as they used big shovels to go over the area. After several moves, their sweat was dripping. Their clothes were soaked through. I thought for a second, then got down from the truck. I said, "Master, you have to rest. Let me help you shovel." He said, "No, you don't have to. Let us do it. It's our job." It made me feel very bitter, if not ashamed.
When he started working at Qingdao Port, not only would Guo Kai get his wages on time, but he would also have older masters teaching him how to use the machines. Guo Kai felt like a duck to water, as he had always been good with machinery.
What's good about Guo Kai is he's an avid learner. With some tasks, as soon as we'd explain to him, he knew instantly how to do them. He'd manage to succeed. With others, he wasn't as familiar, but after finishing work, he'd go off and try to figure it out by himself. Then, on the next day, you'd see how he'd use a different approach to tackle the task at hand.
Now, Guo Kai can not only drive a front loader, but also an excavator. At Qingdao Port, very few drivers are able to drive both. 7 days later, Qingdao Port's loader driving contest scheme of 2014. The results of the appraisal have been released. Surprisingly, Guo Kai's scheme has not been chosen.
The results have come out and the verdict is in. Our scheme, sadly, wasn't chosen. The company has chosen Dong Jiako's corporation scheme, and the lines were drawn according to their design.
Another team scheme has been approved, which means Qiangang Corporation has lost status as home field. Qiangang Corporation has over 200 technical workers all in all. They now must choose 6 from the 18 core workers to join the contest on behalf of the corporation.
This year's loader driving contest will be held this morning. We've just now drawn lots, and the order has been decided. In this contest, we'll be playing as guests, since we lost the appraisal round. I've gone over all of the rules already. And I must say, there are some details that have yet to be elaborated upon, but here's what you should know. The vehicle, the Komatsu 470-6. Got that? It is greatly different from the 470-3, which we normally use in our daily work. Today, each of us has tried to train on it once already. The overall results will depend on our overall capacity for strain. Did you all understand what I just said?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, then that means we can officially begin.
The scheme designed by Dong Jiako Corporation is as follows. First, drive the loader backwards. Then use the hopper to raise a small container. Pass a small bridge, then load the small container onto the bigger one. Then, raise the 2 containers together. Scores will be determined according to the number of times a driver hits a bar or presses a line.
I'm not feeling that confident. It's my first time using this vehicle. Now, if I use the original one, I'd feel better. After 2 days training on this one, it might improve. But all of us are still nervous. Think it might go wrong? It might.
Ours is a smaller version of that.
What we use is a Dash 6. It's 380. But this is 470, and ours is only Dash 3. This one belongs to Dash 6. Our company has never imported this machine.
Because it is their first contest as a visiting team, they are not familiar with the vehicle type nor the scheme, and Qiangang Corporation results in the team category are less than ideal. Still, their final score is not low. Their team leader is very angry.
I'm concerned. It's the team category, scores. The results from the loader task doesn't matter to me. It's secondary. Out of the known items in the contest, we know that after it's done, those with 50 are high-score winners. I feel that those who get more than 60 get higher marks because they're more aware. Now, I think they're awarded for strictly following instructions. I think that's the reason they got higher marks. Now, more than ever, as a visiting team, we need to focus. If we continue like this, we will certainly lose.
Where did you look when you dropped the second?
I just looked at the wheel on the right. It tapers underneath, and the left part, it rests against the screw over here. See that? Right here.
According to Qingdao port policy, so long as the contract worker wins 3rd place in the team category, he can be promoted to regular employee. Guokai was just a rural migrant worker when he first joined the contest.
I was a migrant worker back then. I wasn't regular yet. Yes, when I joined the provincial contest, I was very nervous, but excited.
He worried every day. He'd always say, "What if I fail?" I told him not to think that way. If you fail this year, there's still next year.
I agreed and reconsidered what he said. I had to at least try. The chance was there. And well, I won the first prize.
When the results came out, and all the team members had heard them announced, Guokai just sat there. Everyone applauded. Everyone except him. I called him over to me. And when he came over, he was overcome with happiness. Tears were streaming down his face. He was so overcome with excitement. Words can't describe it.
I burst out crying. That feeling of being able to hold my head high at last after having been depressed for so long.
From rural migrant worker to official contract worker, as far as Guo Kai was concerned, this had been a great turn of fate. His heart was full of gratitude. He only hoped he could do something in return for Qingdao port. He continually fine-tuned and researched, and soon he invented a method which later would be called Guo Kai's oil-saving method. In May 2014, the entire corporation put it into practice.
Is it related to Guo Kai's oil-saving method?
Originally, our oil meter wasn't very accurate. In order to measure more accurately, we added a fuel oil counter, so after each working shift, workers could see the oil level through this window right here. When it was my turn, the oil was at this level, so it was very accurate.
In fact, at the start, all of us were under a lot of stress. Popularizing it was definitely the main issue. It was not exactly easy. Everyone doubted this migrant worker. What good could his method be, considering he'd only finished until junior middle school?
I said it was very primitive, even backward. But when you use this method, it can save a lot of oil in the long run.
Saving 1 liter of oil did not mean as much in a team. They felt like they were making a big deal about something so small.
You can't save much in one shift, but day after day and year after year, you will end up saving a lot.
After the company enforced Guo Kai's method, they were able to log huge savings in oil. One team could save 1.3 million yuan in a year. In the entire corporation, there are more than 100 teams, putting savings at 130 million a year.
Students, I'd like to introduce 2 people to you. One is a master who has been chosen from our team. This is Master Guo Kai. He is the most excellent among the second-generation masters in our entire team. His apprentice, Yao Lei, won first place in the Shandong province. That was just about 2 years ago. Guo Kai's training can be rather strict. Everyone in our team knows this. Now, without further ado, I will give him the floor.
No need to call me master. I'm not much older. Call me what you always call me. Call me Brother Kai. That will suffice. Okay, this is training for the exam portion of the contest. Go back and review and read as much as possible. Are you also from the countryside? I can tell from your equipment. You know I'm also from the countryside. All right, drop the formalities. We are brothers already, so we can talk freely. In the past, I coached another group of 15 at the site, and they were on rotation, so one person controlled the vehicle at most twice a day. Now you're only 2, so you have more time to yourselves. You can take turns in the morning and the afternoon. Once you reach that point, where you've mastered each part, then you're ready.
All right, I'll work hard.
First, practice your driving. You'll learn gradually, step by step. You have to get used to all the parts. You can't expect to get better overnight. You must train gradually, gather experience, year by year, then eventually you will master that job.
Although Guo Kai doesn't have much of an educational background, he is a core technical worker. Besides clearing the cabin, his daily work consists of teaching apprentices.
Everyone drives a truck on site. If your truck is broken, then you can't work, and then you'll have to stay home. That's why it should always be wiped down. It is our bread and butter. Do you understand me? While cleaning, you can tear the cloth into smaller pieces, because if you use a large piece to wipe the spindle nose and other joints, it'll be a waste, so tear it into small pieces, then start with the oil injection part. Use the dirty part to wipe the oil, piece by piece, like so. There. With clean working pieces, when we get to field work, there's less chance of damaging the truck. Keep a plastic bag. You can store the cloth pieces inside. You should put them aside after wiping. Afterwards, when you're headed back and reach the base, you'll find the garbage. You can throw your trash into the receptacle, plastic bag and all. In our line of work, if you keep the truck clean and well maintained, it makes for better work. This truck here is more expensive than our private cars. It costs hundreds of thousands of yuan. And the big trucks, they cost several million yuan more. How much does a Benz or a BMW cost? This here is a valuable piece of machinery, so be sure to take good care of it. Look, you should consider it this way. Just maintain this truck as your own truck. Now let's look at the inside of the cab. Come along. Chao Dong, You don't need to step on the gas. When you get on, first lift the big arm and turn the hopper. Time to practice. Raise your hands, keep them relaxed. Grip shouldn't be too tight. As with the rest, you should try to relax your whole body. Relax your whole body. Don't be nervous, I can tell. Based on what I'm hearing, you're stepping on the accelerator. Can you hear it?
The contest day is drawing closer and closer. It is their first game without home court advantage, and they are feeling anxious. Today, during training recess, Guo Kai and his apprentices visit the site Dongjiakou Corporation, hoping to see the field and get more information on the contest.
Have you come to seek secrets today?
Is there any way to find out? I wonder.
Did you tell them anything? Did you tell them?
No, I didn't. It seems you do have secrets. It's confirmed.
No secrets. Just train daily. You have to train daily.
Learn from Yang Yi. Be quick. I'll keep watch. Don't make the hopper big.
All right.
Just when Guo Kai and his people have touched the truck to take information about its size, the contest truck is driven away. They are left somewhat disappointed.
That truck is off to go to the working site.
These days, Guo Kai is not only busy with all kinds of training and prep work, but he must also finish his usual cabin clearing work. Today, he is taking the night shift.
Do people sometimes forget to clean the truck?
Yes, if I see anyone who's neglected to wipe down, I make him stay. Right. Brother Bai, come here!
Everything good?
Brother Bai, come. I added the oil 5:30. I'll shine a light so you can see.
One time, as we were changing shifts, I had just washed the truck. He decided not to wipe the remaining moisture off. Then we talked and talked. Anyway, we started quarreling. He told me that the newly washed truck wasn't dry yet. What he really meant was, you should wipe off the water. Before you turn it over to me and I go on duty, I tell you, you should have cleaned the truck thoroughly.
You should clean it before handing it over to me. When I hand it over to you, you can tell me then if I've fallen short. Your truck isn't all right. We are brother and friends. But with work, we have to be serious and careful. You don't cherish this truck, he doesn't treasure it. The truck is so dirty. When he drives it, it's still dirty. How can he drive a dirty truck? But I said it was okay.
In the countryside, we sometimes call it having a one-track mind. We have to be careful when doing things. But if something isn't okay, just say so. Don't say that it isn't.
The oil gun seems to be gone, Brother Bai. There's still half a tank of oil. I topped it up yesterday. The truck doesn't speak, but man and machine both complement each other somehow. If you treat it well, later on, it treats you well. So sometimes, after finishing a heavy job, for example, loading, after wiping the truck down, I will kiss the steering wheel once before leaving. I feel both extremely happy, and I tell it, you're great. Go up, go up. Up that way.
Guo Kai has been working in Qingdao port for 10 years now. Now, all thanks to himself, he has bought a house which he can finally call his own.
Where do I put this?
Go, this way. Just put it here. Yes, that's right.
Over here?
Okay.
Hello? Mom, I want to video chat with Dad. Dad! Can you hear my voice? This is the living room. Can you see? Can you see the room?
Has the boy fallen asleep?
Just now I nudged him and he'll soon cry.
Tell me, when will you go to school, huh?
On the 1st of September.
1st of September.
The connection is stuck.
It got stuck?
Many eyes are on me. The rural migrant workers are watching. I have chosen the right path and others can learn from me, from my experience. Because of the contests, I've been upgraded to contract worker. Because of the contests, I've also bought a house, whereas in the past, my family wasn't doing too well. I had to do overtime. Now things have changed for me and my family. Others will think to learn from me. I hope this encourages them to join similar contests.
Today's contest entails performing a very specific task. As the judges of this affair, we must be fair, just, and open. Now, let me do roll call. Li Qihong.
Here.
Gao Lei.
Here.
Guo Kai.
Here!
Zhang Shilong. Here.
1, 2, 3, fight!
The contest has formally begun. Today marks the official contest. And although it is held every year, Guo Kai and his team never overlook it. It is not only a matter of income, but also of honor, if not dignity, won by hard work. After the opening remarks, the first contestant up is from Dongjiakou Corporation. He earns 81 points after the first round, and this has left our team nervous. Next is Yang Yi from Dongjiakou, their most promising candidate. Yang Yi's performance is perfect and fast and garners 88 points.
2 points and 5 points. After deductions, 10 points.
88 points?
That is to say, with a 5
After
points
everything,
offset.
it's 88 points.
Sign here.
Yang Yi finishes this portion with 88 points.
Oh, 88, Yang Yi.
It is now Gao Lei's turn. He is the most promising out of the 6 from Qiangang Corporation. After his having previously placed, the team has high hopes for him.
What's happened to you, brother? It was higher than the second, this much, but still, I could see it all the way from here. What a pity. But it's over now, brother. Next time. Failure is a mother of success. Learn from today.
Gao Lei's failure has made the team even more nervous. It is now Guo Kai's turn. He must score higher than an 88 in order to turn the contest in favor of Qiangang. They wait in suspense.
Pressing the line once, pressing border twice, 4 points. Pressing the line on one side, 2 points. Press that line once, is that 5?
The bar fell. You
5
forgot.
points.
I recorded it.
Not recorded.
I recorded it, but you didn't.
So?
I recorded it, but you didn't.
There are 2 judges, not now.
We can release results after we count properly. Go on.
Deducting twice and taking thrice.
If I moved a centimeter backwards, I wouldn't have pressed the line. I lost 3 points. Pity.
1 bar fell.
Yes, 1 bar fell.
Are you satisfied?
What? Not very. I shouldn't have lost 3 points. Then I'd have more than 90. More than 90 in 3 minutes.
How many points?
88. I shouldn't have pressed the line. I just moved my hand a little and didn't brake in time.
In the end, Guokai has gotten the same score as Yang Yi from Dongjiakou Corporation. Both have gotten an 88. Now, it all depends on their times. Let us see who wins. The judges have confirmed it. Guokai has won a narrow victory over Yang Yi with a score of 88 and 3 minutes 46.
First place, Guokai. Second place, Yang Yi. Third place, Li Yang. Fourth place, Zhang Siqing from Dongjiakou. Fifth
refuse
place,
to sign.
Zhi
It's
Wang from
unfair.
Degang. Now, sixth place, Zhao Yan from Dongjiakou. That's it. Nothing follows. This marks the end of today's contest. Thank you for coming.
Are those certificates you have won at Qingdao Port over the years?
Yes, they are. And there are so many. Look at this ribbon, too. The leader said to take it home as a souvenir. I've taken some home. Others I handed in. They come in all sizes.
You've kept them all.
They must be kept as souvenirs. 2007. Rural migrant worker with outstanding achievements. This is one that I won in the year 2009. Award to Guokai for oil saving. It was awarded at a provincial contest. They only issued one like this, would you believe? So I really cherish it. This one is very important. In my driving career, I've never had an accident. No matter what truck I drive, I feel it is good. I take care of it, and it takes care of me in turn.
I feel a great sense of joy when driving a truck. As actions are repeated, so are the results. But your mood differs from day to day. You can adjust your method. For example, today I'll use this method to save oil. Tomorrow I'll use another method to save oil. That's how life is. You can constantly find enjoyment. That makes it interesting.
We often say driving such a big machine is somehow like dancing ballet. Every dance has its own purpose. Every dance must be better than the last. Similarly, it is through our daily work that we can show the world our value as workers. On the stage, that is human life.